Hey, don't you just love summer days? The sunlight just hits differently. Anyway, that aside, I get a lot of questions on my Instagram on how did I become a software engineer? Do I need a computer science degree for me to get a job in tech? So, if you've ever wondered whether a computer science degree is actually a must-have or how to land your first tech job in 2025 without one, then this video is for you. I'm going to walk you through my full journey, the exact steps I took to get where I am today, and I'll share what I'll do differently now, especially with powerful tools like AI that didn't exist when I was starting out, that would hopefully help you on your own journey. So let's dive right in. Unlike many people working in tech today, I studied computer science at university from 2008 to 2013. And while it was interesting to learn about some of the theoretical aspects of the course, that alone didn't make me job ready. What really did it for me was everything I learned outside of the lecture hall, After my first semester break in 2008, my cousin gave me a book on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That was my entry point into software development. The book lit a spark. Back then, the internet wasn't what we had today. YouTube wasn't full of tutorials and mobile data was expensive. At least in Nigeria. So I learned from printed books, offline PDFs, downloaded videos, tutorial CDs, blogs, and forums. I remember spending one of my school breaks learning PHP and MySQL and writing login flow in Microsoft Notepad. Interesting times when things were quite simple, Besides some of the languages taught in class during my course, I also tried learning languages like C#, spending hours in departmental labs and night classes to teach myself how to code, built tiny projects, broke them, fixed them, and broke them again. But here's the real takeaway. That habit of teaching myself and figuring things out, that's the skill that's made all the difference in my career. Take JavaScript for example. When I first learned it in 2008, it was mostly used for special effects on the web. You want a live clock on a web page, you copy the JS code from your website, paste it in your source code, and you're done. But after it made a comeback and took over the space as a versatile language with so many applications, because I knew how to learn, I didn't worry about it much. I picked up Node.js and Express in 2020. Same thing when I learned Laravel for the first time in 2017. That belief that if I'm curious enough, I could figure anything out, taught me how to learn, how to keep going, and solve problems when I'm stuck. In my final year of uni, 2013, e-commerce was everywhere in Nigeria. But here's the thing, a lot of business owners were launching these new WordPress sites and were hitting a wall when it came to integrating their bank's payment gateway. I saw the gap and I thought, yeah, maybe I can fix that. So I built a couple of e-commerce plugins for GT Bank, Sterling Bank, bought the domain for my website, put them up for sale, and I priced them at 10,000 naira, I think, about $60 back then. That was the first time ever I sold anything online. But honestly, the best part wasn't the money. It was a light bulb moment that my skill can solve a real business problem for people I probably never even met. That's when it clicked. Standing out in tech isn't just about learning to code. It's about building things that matter for people, solving their problems. Those plugins, plus a few freelance gigs, became my real resume. That's how I met people I later start companies with. Everyone I worked with only had one question: can you build, can you deliver? They didn't care about my grades, Same thing happened with another side project, a Gospel Lyrics website I made, because I thought it's going to be useful. It pulled together Nigerian Gospel Lyrics scattered all over the internet, on Facebook, blogs, everywhere. That site went on to hit 15 million visits, with nearly 5,000 lyrics from over 1,500 artists across 20 African countries, which, if you think about it, is not bad for an idea I had while still in school, serving as a music director. That mindset stuck with me. When we built Disha, it was to meet a need for individuals, creators, and small businesses to have a customizable web page that they can design from their mobile phone without worrying about technical stuff. Flutterwave saw the value, acquired it, and I joined them for the transition. So after 7 years of building businesses and more than 4 years working at other companies, I can tell you this: no one has ever asked about my GPA or where I went to school. My experience has proven that what truly matters is one's ability to solve problems and execute. So if I had to start all over again in today's world with all the tools, AI, and opportunities that we have now, here's exactly how I'm going to do it to become a software engineer. And this applies whether you're in school or trying to transition into tech from another field. First, I'll probably still go to university, not because you need a degree to get hired, but because the structure, discipline, and environment can be valuable. That said, I still won't depend on it, if it's what I mean. Instead, I'll begin with something like roadmap.sh. It gives you a clear overview, what to learn and what other, and how everything fits together. I'll combine that with all the video resources on YouTube to learn. Then I'll lean heavily into AI tools. Back when I started learning in 2009, we didn't have anything like ChatGPT, Copilot, Claude, or Replit. Now, you've basically got a coding mentor, a debugger, a brainstorming buddy, all in your browser and ID. You should use these tools to learn faster, debug tricky programs, get clear explanations, and build smarter. But here's the thing. AI won't do the thinking for you. You still have to learn how to think and problem solve as a developer, how to break down problems, how to walk through them step by step, and actually how to get to a solution. That's where relentless practice comes in. Think of it like learning a new language. Just knowing the words won't get you anywhere. You need to speak the language and get immersed in it. Same thing with programming. Practice and practice and practice all over again. Read documentation and other people's code. Next, I'll build in public. Share what you are learning, build something and post your progress. Ask questions, you don't need to be an expert. You just need to be curious and consistent. And finally, don't wait. Don't wait for a boot camp, a certification, or a job title to give you permission to start acting like a software engineer. Start building things you find interesting, things you actually care about. Spot a problem, try to fix it with code. Break stuff, fix it, and share what you learned during the process. Apply for internships, entry-level gigs, freelance work, whatever opens up, take the shot. You figure it out as you go. Sure, it may look like a tricky time to get into tech, but the truth is, automation and engineering is not going anywhere soon. And people who know how to bend a computer to their will and solve problems, they always have a place in our world. I think so. I believe so. So yeah, that's my story and what I would do differently if I was starting in 2025. The truth is, there's no perfect path into software engineering. Mine was a mix of curiosity, consistency, lots of trial and error, and a computer science degree that honestly no one's ever hacked about. So whether you are learning in school, switching career, or just curious about tech in general, don't overthink it. Start messy, stay consistent, let curiosity lead. With all the tools available today, you're already ahead of where I was when I started. If this video helped or you're on your own journey already, drop a like, leave a comment, about your favorite part, or subscribe. I'd love to hear your story too. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.